Parish Public Schools facing a Department of Education investigation after the decision to close down some campuses.
And as Andres Fuentes reports, it's over complaints that the public schools consolidation plan discriminates against Black, Latino, and disabled students.
Now, the Department of Education's investigation stems from a complaint originally filed by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, the group says the Jefferson Parish Public School System discriminated against students when closing down a number of schools as a part of its consolidation plan. Now, due to its lower enrollment numbers, the school system shut down those schools that advocates say catered primarily to Black and Latino students and had the resources and infrastructure for students with disabilities. The Southern Poverty Law Center and other advocates hope that the investigation will force the school system to make significant changes to help its students and to preserve their rights.
We want families whose children are have the right under the law to receive meaningful education, to have that education. So we hope that the school district, much like it did a few years ago, decides to provide and to comply with federal laws.
Folk need to know what's going on in our community and the impact that the decisions that are made by the school board, what that impact is on communities, especially African American and Latino communities, Hispanic communities, because that's our majority now.
Now, we did reach out to the Jefferson Parish Public School System for comment about this specific investigation, but have not heard back just yet. But once we get more information about how this investigation will go forward, we'll be updating you both on air and online. For now, reporting here in Kenner, Andres Fuentes, Fox 8, Local First.